Hello, this is History Shorts with the Artifactual Scholar. Today, I'll be talking about the end of the Medici Dynasty. The Medici family was one of the most significant families in the story of Western civilization. During the 15th and 16th centuries, they were among the leading patrons of Renaissance art in all of Europe. The power and wealth of the family rested on the importance of the Medici Bank, established by Giovanni de' Medici in the late 14th century. It was Giovanni's son, Cosimo, however, who used his influence and money to become the de facto ruler of Florence in the mid-15th century. Cosimo was an active patron of the arts, supporting artists such as Brunelleschi, Fra Angelico, and Donatello, among others. After Cosimo's death, the mantle of leadership and patronage eventually fell to his grandson, Lorenzo, known as the Magnificent. Lorenzo was a friend and patron to many of the great Renaissance artists, including Leonardo da Vinci, Botticelli, and a young Michelangelo, who lived with the family for 3 years. Under Lorenzo's rule, Florence became the great cultural center of Europe. Though the family's financial fortunes began to waver by the end of the 15th century, the prestige of the Medici name continued. Between 1513 and 1605, the family produced 4 popes and 2 queens of France. In 1532, the Medici were made the hereditary Dukes of Florence, and in 1569, they were created the Grand Dukes of Tuscany. In 1723, Gian Gaston de' Medici became the 7th Grand Duke. As a child, he had been abandoned by his mother and largely ignored by his father, Cosimo III. Forced into a marriage with a wife he despised, Gian Gaston grew increasingly melancholy, seeking comfort in alcohol and gambling. Unsurprisingly, the marriage did not produce any children. By the time he ascended to the Grand Duchy at the age of 52, Gian Gaston was ruled by his vices. After injuring his ankle in 1729, the Grand Duke became bedridden. Though he resided in the faded splendor of the Pitti Palace in Florence, he lived ensconced in filth in his bed. When he died without an heir in 1737, nearly 300 years of Medici rule in Florence came to an end. Gian Gaston was survived by his older sister, Anna Maria Luisa, the Dowager Electress of the Palatine. As the last remaining member of the Medici Grand Ducal line, she inherited all of the palace's art and lands. Prior to her death in 1743, Anna Maria Luisa created the so-called Family Pact, essentially her last will and testament, that ensured that all of the Medici family art remained in Florence and Tuscany. That bequest was perhaps the most significant legacy of the Medici. Today, countless students and tourists flock to Florence, crowding the galleries of the Uffizi and the Pitti to experience the grandeur and beauty of the Renaissance. 300 years after their demise, the Medici still loom large in the story of Florence. This has been History Shorts. Thanks for watching.